Hello artists! Today we're going to be using paper to create a sculpture of a pumpkin. So a sculpture is a work of art that is three-dimensional. So our pumpkins are going to be popping up off of our page. To get started, you're going to need the paper you want to use for your pumpkin, a piece of paper that will be the base that we'll glue things on, scissors, glue, and if you don't have glue then tape will work, and something to color if you're going to color your paper instead of starting with a paper that is already colored. You can also use a ruler if you want to help you draw your lines, but you do not have to. Your pumpkins can be any color you want. If you only have white paper to work with, you can use white paper for your pumpkins, or you can use coloring materials to color the paper first before you cut your strips. The first thing we're going to do is draw lines on our paper that will cut it up into long shapes that we can cut out to make strips of paper. You want your strips to be about 1 inch thick. So you can use your ruler to measure out 1 inch, or you can use the shape of the ruler and use that to trace. By pushing your ruler up against the edge, draw a line, then just scoot it down, draw a line, and keep going until you've done that to the whole paper. Once you've drawn all your strips of paper, use your scissors to cut along the line. The next thing we want to do is fold the edges of the paper to create little feet. Now, if you're working with a paper that has two sides, you want the color to be on the outside and you're going to fold the foot on the inside. But if your paper is the same color on both, then it doesn't matter. You don't need to make your feet that big, just make a little fold like this on both ends of each strip. Now we're ready to create our pumpkin. When you bend the folded piece of paper, it looks like a rainbow. This will form the shape of the pumpkin. If you glue your pieces further apart, your pumpkin will be wider and flatter. If you glue the pieces closer together, your pumpkin will be taller and rounder. You want to start by getting your glue and putting a dot on the flat part of the little foot that you folded. Then you want to glue it down, not in the middle, but off center a little bit to leave room. Use your finger to press down the foot and count to 10. This will make sure that it stays nice and stuck. Then you put a dot of glue on the other foot. And remember, the further spread out, the shorter and flatter your pumpkin will be. The more it's pushed in, the taller and rounder your pumpkin will be. So you decide where you want it. Use your fingers to press it down and count to 10. We are going to continue gluing down strips of paper until we've created the form of the pumpkin. But remember, we're not making a line across. We're going to crisscross our strips of paper over each other to make the round pumpkin. So I'm going to put another dot of glue. And I'm going to put this foot next to one of the ones I already put down. Hold it. Count to 10 so you know it's nice and stuck. And then put a dot of glue on the other one. Cross it over your last strip. Press and count to 10. We're going to repeat this with as many strips as we want until we've filled up our pumpkin. Once you've glued all your strips down, your pumpkin's going to look like this. You can see that it's three-dimensional. It's popping up off of the page. It is a sculpture. Once you've created the form of your pumpkin, you're ready to decorate it. You can use any drawing materials you have or extra paper to add things like a stem, leaves. You can draw designs, use your imagination, make it your own. I'm going to show you a trick for how you can create a stem for your pumpkin if you want to. Take a piece of paper, any color you want. I took a white piece of paper and just colored some green on the front. Then take a pencil and put your paper on the edge of the pencil like this. Using both hands, start wrapping the paper around and around and around until you get to the end. Another option, if you don't want to use the pencil and you want to make the inside part smaller, you can just use your fingers by rolling the edge and make it really small and spinning, 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 spinning. And when you get to the end, you need another dot of glue to hold it in place. Just a little dot is fine. Press it to the end, hold it, count to 10. And I have some extra glue on my finger. I'm just going to rub it to get rid of it. I'm going to hold it in place. Once it's dry and you can let go and it won't come apart, add some more glue, and this time we use a big dot of glue so it stays in place. And I'm going to press it at the very center of my pumpkin and count to 10. Alright, that's the basic form of your pumpkin. You can use the extra paper you have to cut leaves out and glue them on. You can cut your paper into smaller and skinnier strips to make baby pumpkins if you want. Be creative, use your imagination, and have fun.